It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
You know what time it is. That's right. It is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. You can also watch us live on fox2detroit.com, the Fox 2 app. Braylon Edwards, I say a very hearty good afternoon to you, my friend.
Extremely excited. Today a movie came out called Air that is chronicling Sonny Vaccaro's journey into creating the perfect shoe for the basketball playing athlete, Michael Jordan. Notice, I know you guys have seen this trailer a little bit, heard people talk about it. Notice they haven't talked about Jordan in the trailers. You haven't seen Jordan in the commercials. Well, it's because the story is not about Jordan. It's about the Air Jordan that he created with Sonny Vaccaro and Warren. And because of that, we got a special top 10 for you today.
I am absolutely looking forward to this movie. I heard this movie was tremendous. I can't wait to see it. Michael Jordan also had one request for this movie. If his input was going to be made, if his input was going to be asked, he was going to give it. He only asked one thing for this movie: that Viola Davis played his mother. And they said, okay.
What? It's a no-brainer.
They said, okay, we'll go get it. Absolutely.
What an honor. What an honor. And I know we'll get back on the shoe side of things because I can't wait to talk about shoes. I'm actually wearing the reverse black and white 12s on my feet as we speak.
You got the black and white 12s on?
That's what I'm talking about, man. I got the black and white 12s on.
Oh, my
God.
gosh.
But that's absolute honor for Jordan's mom. You know what I'm saying? Viola Davis is an amazing individual off and on the screen, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? If I'm Viola Davis, I'll be like, that would be an honor to play Michael Jordan's mother. She's so regal. We saw her in The Last Dance, so that's a hell of a request, and it's an easy ask.
I'm always fascinated by stars being in awe of stars, too.
Right.
I mean, if you're Viola Davis and Michael Jordan wants you, that's pretty out cold, isn't it?
Man, that's tough. That's big stuff. I remember like being in New York, like playing for the Jets. Like you would never know who would like request you or who would come to the games as Jets fans, and you're like they're asked to talk to you before games, and you're like, what? Howard Stern? Like, say, hey, nice to meet you, Howard. That's one thing about being in New York. Man, your team's doing good. You're gonna meet some stars.
Unbelievable. Tom Mazawey, we say good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, boys. Listen, the Sonny Vaccaro story is one of my favorites. If you remember, one of the original 30 for 30s was called Soul Man, and it's about Sonny Vaccaro. So I do know a lot about this. I cannot wait for the movie. I'm going tonight for sure.
You going tonight?
I'm going tonight.
Yeah.
If Braylon says it's out tonight,
It comes out.
I'm going tonight.
I, too, am going to the movies tonight.
You want to go with me?
I can't.
You going to see Puss in Boots?
Nope.
What are you going to see?
Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers.
There you go. That did come out today.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers.
What time?
My little guy has been waiting for months for this movie to come out. So
What are we doing, the 5 o'clock show?
We're doing the 4:30 Birmingham 8.
Oh, he's coming up here.
They're coming up here.
up?
They're coming up here. We're going to do the 4:30 Birmingham 8.
Okay.
Little Super Mario Brothers, and then we're going to go have dinner after that because it's like an hour and a half.
I love that.
The movie's like an hour and 32 minutes.
Yeah, you'll get probably 20 of those and be commercial. I mean, it'll be previewed.
Right.
Excited. I want to see that as well. I'm still a big kid, but
so it's
excited about the Jordan movie.
pretty good stuff. Guys, I've got breaking news for you today. Are you ready for this?
Of course.
I, today, for the first time in my life, have become a Lions season ticket holder.
First time, huh?
Yep. I placed my deposit.
There you go.
Placed my deposit, I don't know, a month and a half ago. And today was my time slot to pick my seats. In the 300 levels, that's what they had left.
All right. Where are you going? Where are you? 10-yard line?
No, I'm in the end zone.
End zone.
Yeah, It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're there, though.
I'm
You're
there,
there.
though.
You're in the
I'm
building.
there,
Rolls
though.
up.
7.
Not bad.
It's fine. That was the closest seat that they had. I think I got section 3. Did
you get an aisle?
No, there's no aisles. There's no nothing.
Wow.
And that's the point of the story. That's the point of the story. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no Lions tickets left. I mean, there are a few, but today I was so excited to buy my season tickets, and I'm sure they will release more as the weeks go on here. But for those people who have made a deposit for Lions season tickets, and you have yet to select, I'm a first-year ticket buyer.
Yeah.
Your choices are high up in the end zones in the 300 levels. And that just goes to show you how many people want to be in on this thing. How many people are buying these tickets? It is incredible, the demand for Lions tickets.
I told you the last time I went, the last time I had season tickets, I gave them up after the 0-16 season. I was there for the Saints loss, and I had 35-yard line tickets in down below.
Makes you sick.
Makes me sick that I gave them up. But the kids had to go to school.
Yeah.
Had to pay for the kids' school.
Right.
This is true. You have to decide what comes important in life. And here's a dumb question. I've never bought season tickets to.
This is my first time.
You should have a pass to any game you want.
Well, I do to a certain extent.
NFL players get that?
Oh, and like to what games?
Any game. Any NFL. You should walk into any NFL stadium.
I appreciate that. There's ways. Like if I know I want to go to a game before a time, I can make some calls and get to the person I need
like
to
these
talk
baseball writers. They could walk into any stadium with their baseball pass. NFL players should be able to do that.
I get a lot of love. I'm not complaining. I receive a lot of love from college stadiums as well as NFL stadiums, the Detroit Lions as well as Tigers, U of M, LCA show me love. So I have no complaints in my city. They show a lot of love here in Detroit, and this is where I live, so this is all I really care about. But here's a dumb question. Is it like this every year, Ryan? Because the only reason I ask is the Lions Stadium is always filled, whether it's Ford Field, whether it's Pontiac Silverdome. There's like only 2 times I've ever seen it not filled was when they were trying to fire Matt Millen in 2008, and then maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago, towards the middle of the season, it started getting a little empty. But isn't it full every year, or is this something new?
The individual game tickets, I mean, when they go on sale, those get gobbled up. Yes, this is my first experience buying season tickets. And even when I was talking to my season ticket rep, we were talking about the potential of where, the seats would be. And we're like, I said, I'd like to sit in the 100 level if that's possible. She's like, the sidelines, they get gobbled up pretty good. She said, you probably will be able to get lower level end zones or corners. Like, there's probably not an issue with that. Right. None.
Yeah, okay.
None.
There it is.
And even on the 300 level seats, there is nothing on the sides, only in the end zones and corners. It is crazy. And all the early seats, and again, it's not so much about me, it's just the fact that this whole town, this whole city is abuzz with Lions. This football team got me to spend money on them.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, is this normal or not? That's why I was asking.
That, to me, in and of itself, is not normal.
Yeah,
this football team, that I love this football team. I mean, they're the Detroit Lions. I love the Lions. But I've never even bought season tickets for Michigan, let alone the Detroit Lions. But that's how crazy this fan base is right now. It's really unique times here in Detroit.
Now, tell me how it works. Because back in the day, you had to pay full price for those stinking preseason games. Now they've cut it. Now, I don't think they charge you full price for those, but they charge you extra for premium games like Thanksgiving and any other primetime game. How is that going to work?
I don't know. I don't know what
because that's a loss of money.
Yeah, because
the preseason games, you just throw that money out the window.
Yeah, I don't even know. They charge you a price per ticket for the season, and that's what you get.
Those should be included. Any season
and the schedule is not out yet, so I don't even have the tickets in my account yet.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Or
the good news is, you only get 3 preseason games now. You get 17 regular season games. I think this year, the Lions are 9 at home, or
8 regular season games at home,
they're
right?
8. Oh, they're 8 this year. They were 9 last year.
Yeah, eight regular season games this year, and then I don't know what the preseason schedule is. I know they play the Giants in the opener of the preseason, or at least I assume they play the Giants because they are practicing a week with the Giants. So we'll see. But there's a lot of excitement. We'll talk to Mike O'Hara coming up in about 15 minutes from now. I will say this. Got to get to this funny story real quick. Okay. So I get to I don't know, it's like 6, whatever. I sit down at my desk at Fox 2, go to my office. I open up my laptop. I never check my emails, so it's like, I don't want to say never. I do check them. That's a lie. I check them very irregularly, but I do see it. So I click open my email today. First email I see is this. Look at this guy. Mike Northrup is his name. The subject line is asshole.
Nice.
So I knew it was going to be a good one.
Yeah.
It says, you are a complete and utter asshole.
At least he kept it short.
I mean, so my question, Braylon, too, and if you see here on this, I put his email out there.
You did.
You know, I put him on blast a little bit. I put his email out there, and I did that. There was a method to that. I did that because why should this guy
Get away with it.
get away with
Being an a-hole.
talking to people like that?
Yeah.
Why should he get a chance to kind of be anonymous and get away with that stuff? So you want to talk like that to people? You want to do these things? I'm putting your email out there. So I did on all 3 platforms: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
There you go. There you have it. They can't get away with that, man.
I don't think they should.
Can't get away with it. It was funny though. That's your first. That's your first one.
That was the very first thing I saw in the morning when I got to work.
Welcome to the club.
The very first thing I saw in the morning. Subject line: asshole. You are a complete and utter asshole. I had a friend of mine that said, "Is it utter a little bit redundant?"
Just trying to really hit the point home hard. You're utterly
right. So I don't know. I mean, there was some questions. Should I have put that guy's email out there or not? And I'm like, screw it, dude. When you're out there saying stuff like that to people, I don't think you get free passes. That's why, you know, all this Twitter stuff. When people use this crazy language on Twitter, and you know, we saw it a lot with the Angel Reese situation. Yeah. I'm like, what job do you work at? I want to know if your boss knows that you talk like this about people.
What boss?
Well,
what,
right.
What,
well,
what
chances
job?
are, I want to know if like the people that employ you, know you talk like that about people.
I know who employs
you
them.
should not get to talk like that about people like that.
It's Pete and the other guy from Best Buy. It's the same people. They're mad
Pete
now.
and Vince.
Can we
It's
call
Pete and
Pete?
Vince.
Can we call?
No, we're not
Pete?
going to call him.
We're
It's
not going
Pete
to call
and
him.
Vince. That's who it is.
Maybe they had a bad day. But listen, Rye, I could double that.
Okay.
I used to have a guy, you know, being on the Drew and Mike podcast, there were a lot of guys that didn't want me on that show. I don't belong on that show. I wasn't there 30 years ago when they started.
Not their kind of guy.
I wasn't their kind of guy. So I had people like that come after me all the time. And I had a guy one time put me on Tinder. Okay? And I'm telling
Grindr or Tinder?
both. Okay, I swear, both. He took a picture of me, went to my Facebook, like copied some stuff and pictures, made a different account with my pictures on it. And one time, I'm selling cars at the time up at Zott Ford, right?
Yep.
And guess what? I'm off on a Saturday, and this motorcycle chick comes roaring up to Zott Ford and walking in looking for Maz, looking to meet me. I'm supposed to meet Maz here today. Yeah.
He might have did you a
And
favor.
of course,
though.
the guys there had a wonderful time at my expense.
How'd she look though?
Wait a minute. How did this go down?
Yeah, I wasn't there, thank God. I was off. And, well, they said, hey, well, he's not here today and blah, blah, blah. So I got in touch with the website itself and said, look, this guy has been after me, blah, blah, blah. He had me talking. I had 50 people on my phone reaching out to me, sending me pictures. And I mean, all kinds of pictures.
So you still got it. You still got it, man.
No. The pictures I got, you didn't want to get.
Oh, they were
man.
of the male genitalia.
Yes, you did not want to get it. Not that there's anything wrong with that,
Hey,
but
man.
I didn't want to get it, okay? And it was horrible. So you got called an a-hole. I got chased down big time. And the guy would call me at work and harass the hell out of me.
Oh, my God.
And get under my skin. And I did.
You got under your
I
skin?
did everything I could to not want to go after find this guy.
Did you ever have a guy show up in Zott
No,
Ford
no
and ask
guy,
you
no
for a
guy
date?
showed up, but nonetheless,
You had some
it
interesting pictures.
was hell. It was hell. That's all I got to tell you. So be thankful. That's all you got.
You got
Oh, my
you got cyberbullied / catfished at
You're
the
not
same
kidding,
time.
man. And I didn't want nothing to do with it.
I hope not.
Oh my God,
That's tough.
is that great?
Isn't that something? A motorcycle babe pulling up.
See, this is what happens when you throw out a complaint. Somebody's got a worse one.
Oh man,
Sheesh.
Jesus, right?
Well, that's a hell of a way to start.
Right, guys, we'll talk to Mike O'Hara, DetroitLions.com in about 15 minutes. We'll talk to Tim McCormick, top of the hour, get you the latest on the Pistons and Michigan, the situations happening with those two teams. Absolutely, but first,
Somebody won yesterday. How about we talk about those guys?
Who won?
We'll talk about when we get back from the break.
But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. They are your customized approach to weight loss. Whether it's 20 pounds, 120 pounds, Custom Health Centers has the solution for you and what your body needs to lose the weight. They take the willpower out of weight loss. They helped me lose my target weight loss goal of 20 pounds, and I barely used any energy doing it thanks to Custom Health Centers. All you have to do is call this number right here, 844-789-THIN.
Stay thin.
That number again. If you want to stay thin, 844-789-THIN.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch and JB as well. Braylon, you threw it out there. Would you like to give your big reveal?
I would. You know, we talked plenty of trash about the Detroit Tigers and their start and what they looked that they were on pace for. Well, they played the world champs. 2 games, the Detroit Tigers have prevailed over the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
So you got to clap it up for them, man. Look,
I agree.
We're not throwing them a parade, nothing like that, but we're honoring they did their thing last 2 games.
No doubt about it. I agree. And Spencer Torkelson, 3 for 4. Riley Green, 3 for 4.
Yes.
Both guys were 3 for 4 last night.
12 hits.
Torque with a huge bomb. And again, they're on the
feet.
field again right now,
Smashed
actually. It. And, I think it's really good. We'll see what happens today, but thank God they're not coming home 0-6.
I did want to
That's
say,
all I wanted to say.
did have to crack one quick joke, and then we can get back to talking about how well they play. Did you see Verlin get thrown out at the plate?
No.
Did he not look like Willie Mays Hayes in the beginning of Major League? Remember when he was like literally 3 feet short of getting second base? Verlin was so far from home plate. Like when he went to slide, he was almost out before he even started sliding.
Maybe he was trying to stop.
Maybe he didn't know what the hell he was doing. Maybe he saw the sign. Now, with that being said, it was very funny. Now we can talk about that. They play well though.
What do you think of Simo behind the mic?
I like him. And Simo was my brother. I can't say anything negative about Simo.
I think he's doing a fine job.
I think he's good.
I think Simo is exactly what they kind of needed up there too.
Yeah.
A little bit
energy,
of personality, a little bit of energy.
He doesn't do too much. Like Simo, I've known Craig since I was in middle school. I think I was in middle school, but he's perfect, smooth as he is, not too much. Like sometimes, like with Tony Romo, you get this. All right, Tony, bring it in a little bit. He's come out perfect, but I just love the fact that the 2 players we needed most, that we wanted to see the most, they've been playing. They played well yesterday. Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson.
Without question, that is huge. We here in Detroit
need those young guys to really show.
Exactly. That'll speed up this rebuild a little bit more if those 2 guys could be building blocks for the franchise. I wanted to comment this yesterday because I made such a big stink of this yesterday. I want to, even when I'm wrong, I got to say I'm wrong. I said that the women's game of 9.9 million fans would be larger than the men's game. That was wrong. Nearly 15 million viewers for the national championship. It was the lowest rated national championship game ever. 14.7 million viewers. But still, it still beat the women's.
Did it? Because my thing is, since they're so good, since they beat the women, why don't you flip the games then? Put the men on at 3:30 on Sunday and see what they draw, and put the men on at 9:20 at night and see what they draw. I'm definitely going. You put the women in the best slot, they would have won. Nobody. Men would have won. I mean, women would have won if they would have been in that time slot. 3:30 on a Sunday, and you got 10 million people watching. They would have killed it on Monday.
You know, one of the big things too, Maz, about this is you have no stars in college basketball anymore.
Right.
Can you tell me one player in college basketball that's a star? We all know Caitlin Clark's name.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Caitlin Clark is probably the biggest.
She won the Naismith, by the way. Congrats to her.
Caitlin Clark is probably the biggest name in college basketball. And I don't say that to bring back that other stuff, but I say that because this men's game is so atrocious right now. You can't tell me who the number one player in college basketball is right now.
Well, spread all out. That's
I could,
why.
but they wouldn't be able to. It's Brandon Miller right now. It's
Alabama.
It's Brandon Miller from Alabama. It's Ishibwe, who I don't particularly care for, from Kentucky. And then it's Edey, who's at Purdue. He's coming back next year. He's not leaving.
Player of the year as well.
Yeah, I get it. He's not going to be anything in the NBA. He won't even make anybody's NBA team. Ryan, I've been saying this for the last month. No stars. It's not, like back in the day when you're watching the Final Four or you're watching the tournament, you're watching the guys that are up next in the NBA. You're watching the guys, and then each team you're watching, they got 4 stars on their team. They got 4 NBA players. Now you're scratching the surface looking for a guy that may make a roster. So that's just big time, man. I mean, it's a big difference. Women, they run the show as a relationship.
Listen, the guys 15 million. That's still a lot of people watching a game at 9:25.
All I said was switch the times, and the women would have had more.
Well, no,
that's all I said.
Well, okay, maybe this time you might be right because it was the perfect matchup. It really was. But the men are always going to beat the women. They are. They're always going to beat the women, but they have to. They got to fix the game.
I disagree.
You can't do 9:20 on a Monday anymore.
I don't think you can anymore either. You
Change
have
it
to
up.
evolve. You have to evolve.
Make it 8 o'clock at worst, or put it on a weekend.
Right. It's just like car dealerships. They're not open till 9 o'clock anymore.
No.
Do you know why? Because they've evolved. Nobody's going to work anymore till 7 o'clock at night, and then they, you know what I mean?
They still make their guys shovel, though.
Well, come on. Trying to make a point.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you got to evolve. Even college football has evolved and changed the time of the game. They moved it to before 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it was 7:30. You almost missed it. Remember when
and
it
a couple
first
of people
started?
on chat. Look, I can name players in college basketball. Scotty Miller from Alabama. He's in a lot of trouble. I mean, Brandon Miller. Yeah. He's in a lot of trouble there. I mean, I don't know what his prospects are. He will get picked in the draft.
Probably the number 3 pick in the draft.
You know, but again, outside of him, who's going to be a top 5 pick? I mean, that Scoot player, he plays at the G League, and you got Wembayamba. Yep. Nobody's talking about any of these college players in terms of franchise-changing athletes for your NBA franchise.
By the way, the Pistons locked up the pre-draft number 1 spot. They have locked up the worst record in the NBA. Congrats to the Detroit Pistons. If they pick the way they should pick, like the NFL does, the Pistons will be picking first in the draft.
Instead, they'll be
fifth.
Picking 5th.
Shout out to the Pistons. That's why you see I'm rocking the hat. Shout out to my boy Jeff. Got for my birthday. Bad Boys for Life. Yeah, I mean, you can talk about the time all you want to. It has no bearing on the game. The game in NBA, I mean, the men's collegiate side is not going to get any better. Not with guys not having to go to college. Not with guys going to G League, Over League. Excuse me. And, like, it's too many ones and dones. Like, look at the Final Four this year. Are we going to talk the Final Four for the men's? FAU, Miami? Like, come on, man. It's a joke. Like, it's going to be.
FAU won 35 games. That people forget to know that.
I understand that, Maz, but in the grand scheme of things, the numbers don't lie. It's the lowest rated game because people don't care about these magical games or these magical moments or these random teams that have a chance like you do. People care about watching Kansas. They care about watching UNC. They care about watching the number 1 player in the draft, the number 2 player in the draft. You watch the women's tournament. Every woman that's going to get drafted to the WNBA is playing in that tournament. You get a chance to watch them play against each other. And this one, you're not watching anybody in the men's tournament this year that's going to be playing against anybody in the NBA, except maybe Brandon Miller.
No question about it. And I don't want to spend much time on something that people just simply don't care about.
Very true.
And that's college basketball, clearly by the numbers.
It's in the past now. Anyway.
Yeah, it is. I wanted to put this out there for you. The Lions' new players have new numbers for this,
Yeah,
and I think
a lot of single digits.
it's all
this drives
single.
you too crazy.
It's all single digits. It is all. Well, obviously, Graham Glasgow has his number 60,
Right.
but C.J. Gardner-Johnson is going to wear number 2. Emmanuel Mosley is going to wear number 4. You've got David Montgomery wearing 5 and Cam Sutton wearing 6. So 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Montgomery
and of course,
had 32, but there's someone else that wears 32.
3 plus 2 equals 5.
DeAndre Swift, by the way.
Look at that. Braylon, how do you feel about all the single-digit numbers?
I mean, look, single-digit numbers are cool. Like this, when you start off in Little League, you want a single-digit number, and you want to. And if you're not a single-digit number, you try to get the jersey number of someone you like, someone you admire, someone to make you play a game. But you're always trying to get to a single-digit number. You're always trying to get the 1 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 9. They look cooler. They look sweeter. You can make the uniform look better. Just like Deion said, you can say what you want to about, but it just looks. Nah. Deion told you a long time ago. Look good, feel good, play good. And that's the same thing to this day. These guys love single digits. You see what I wore at Michigan? I wanted 1. I wore 3 in high school. I wore 80 at first because there were no single-digit numbers when I was a kid in high school, so I had to get 81. But I was always working my way to a single digit, and eventually I got 3.
Do you know what I wore as the
30-something?
stud running back and strong safety at the Grosse Pointe South Blue Devils?
32?
35. Do you know why I wore 35?
It was running back.
Made me look less fat. I thought having those 2 numbers really widened out. No, I started wearing 35 back when I started playing at St. Veronica because I loved Christian Okoye. Christian Okoye, the Nigerian nightmare. I love the way he ran, just pulverized guys.
Like when Barry let him have the rushing title?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was nice.
Did you like when Steve Atwater let him have it?
Oh, man.
Put him in retirement.
27, number 27, Steve Atwater.
But numbers are cool. Like I told you, I was 81. I love that. I mean, when I was playing basketball, I wore 21 because Kevin Garnett was my favorite player. Then my senior year, I wore 15 because Vince Carter was Air Canada. But you can't beat a single-digit number. You get a 1, you get a 2, you get a 3, you get a 4. Single digits are the best.
There you go. Get your Lions gear.
Hey, you see my girls here?
I do. I love it.
They skipped out of town. Bishop Foley Catholic school right around the block here, just a few miles away. My daughter Maddie and her girls.
Hi, sweetie.
We got Lily and Caroline here in the house.
Oh,
at
my
Woodward
gosh.
Sports.
Lily, Caroline, how you guys doing?
They had their little Olympics today.
How'd you
Who
guys
won
do?
the Olympics?
Oh, we got in third place.
Third place. Oh, the
Oh,
sophomores came in third.
Oh,
What are you
darn
gonna
it.
do?
There you
Well,
go.
it sounds about right.
Sounds about
Seniors,
right.
juniors,
They're on
sophomores.
Easter break now.
Oh, look at that.
How about that?
Oh,
There's a lot of breaks in high school now, man.
Jeez. Especially these Catholic schools.
I went to
The
Catholic
more
school.
money you pay, the less school you do.
That's a
I
fact.
mean, that's
It's
just
not a bad
what you
thing.
do. The more money you pay to go to school, the less
They
school
get out at 1 o'clock.
you
What is it,
actually
every
do.
Wednesday you get out at 1 o'clock?
No, it's ridiculous.
That's pretty damn
oh,
good.
Man.
They're only here for one reason.
Nobody wants
not to
work.
see us,
No,
but to go get
Birmingham roast.
Birmingham roast. Yeah, that's what they're here for.
All right. Guys, we're going to get Michael Harrow, DetroitLions.com on the phone. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. Want to elevate your dinner? Choose Fairway Packing Company. Family owned and operated since 1956. You can try the Burrata blended burgers, the award-winning Chop House steaks, or visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods on Mack Avenue. It is the greatest place. If you are a red meat guy or gal, please show up there. Check this place out. They've got these individually packed, vacuum-sealed steaks. Tells you exactly what they are, exactly what the price is. It is just a tremendous, tremendous spot. They ship anywhere as well, so you can order online. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry. Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, welcome back, WoodwardSports.com. Talking a little Lions here. Maz is basking in the glow, seeing Matty Mazawey. And,
I love that.
Is that great?
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. I love that, Maz. Maz, you got a great family.
Thank you.
You got a great family.
Back at you guys.
Great group of girls.
We all do.
Absolutely.
We're lucky.
No doubt. And we're also lucky to talk a little Detroit Lions with this guy, Braylon Edwards. He is the one, the only, the great Mike O'Hara, DetroitLions.com. Mike, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for the time.
Listen, guys, thanks for having me. Braylon, Tommy, you, thanks for having me up.
Hey, love you, Luke.
Hey,
love
Mike.
you, man.
There you go.
Mike, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is, do you have any more Tom Mazawey stories?
No.
That's all we need.
No, we're good.
Right? Oh, he says we're good. Oh, okay, good.
12 minutes of mass stories.
When he almost got me fired 3 times.
Uh-oh.
Do I have any more Tom Mazawey stories?
That's what I initially said, but Tom says I'm not allowed to ask about that right now.
Off limits.
Yeah, I better be quiet. I don't want. He's got a family to feed.
Right.
I better be quiet.
Right.
BTS is done anyway in the news.
Exactly. Hey, Mike, I wanted to. You wrote a great piece on DetroitLions.com, the 5 quarterbacks that could interest the Detroit Lions, and I found that to be interesting because all 5 of these guys are names that have been associated with the Lions in some way, shape, or form. Is there? I don't even know if this is a fair question, but is there one guy that you would like to see here?
Well, let me just add one thing there. We did not include Bryce Young or C.J. Sprout because it's not realistic at all that they're going to be available to the Lions. I mean, they're probably, in all probability, they'll go at picks 1 and 2. So if people out there wondering why we didn't include them, that's why. And other positions, too, there are a couple of players we did there, too.
And probably, Mike, let me just say to the people, I didn't say which 5 quarterbacks there were. Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker, Aiden O'Connell from Purdue, and Tanner McGee from Stanford. I apologize. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Each one of those guys in there has something to might draw the Lions' interest. And you can start with Will Lewis, strong arm. I mean, a really strong arm. I saw a photo of him working out the other day, and he looks like one of those wrestlers from WWE or WWF, whatever the heck they call it these days. Anthony Richardson. I actually today I'm working on my final mock draft, mock 4.0 that will come out 2 days, I think, the day before the season starts. He's probably to me been the most puzzling player because I don't know. Do I rate him as a prospect or do I rate him as a quarterback? And I mean, look, I love him doing the backflip at his pro day. I love him hitting the roof with the ball. Where does that get you as a quarterback, though? I don't know if that gets you anywhere. But his athletic ability, just seems to have a joy of playing the game. To me, is undeniable. And really, I moved him up my list just today. Now that's the one that's going to go out in 3.5 weeks, but. He's kind of sold me a little bit where he hadn't before. I mean, not that he had to sell me, but that's just my opinion. Henderson Hooker, look, he had the misfortune of getting hurt. I think the last quarter of the last play of last season at Tennessee. But boy, you talk about production, you talk about size. He just looks like he has that body, built to play quarterback in the National Football League. And he had production. You look at it, and I'm really. But as I go along here, I'm going to have to move him up somehow. I'm not sure he's going to get into the top 18 where the Lions having the 6th pick and the 18th pick overall, but certainly a candidate. And then the other couple of guys just in there that might be, down the line guys, just 3rd, 4th, 5th round draft picks. If you're looking looking for a guy for long range development.
Hey, Mike. if Anthony Richardson is on the board at 6, and most draft pundits do not believe he will be on the board at 6, but if he is there at 6, do the Lions take him there?
Well, I don't speak for them. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I want somebody I could put on the field, play 17 games this year. I think he's a ways away from that. First of all, you have a good quarterback already in Jared Goff. And people seem to not recognize this. He's a good young quarterback, just turned 28. He's got, 7 years of his, of his career ahead of absolutely, the best parts of his career. So there are a lot of reasons. Some have nothing to do with Anthony Richardson. So to me, at number one, it's the fact that you have a quarterback. But, let him go somewhere else where he can start and play.
Hey, Mike, this is more about a side of the ball than an actual particular player. Obviously, people talked a lot about the Lions needing defensive interior linemen at 6. They talk about maybe needing a DB at 18. Obviously, since a lot of the pickups in the offseason, Cam Sutton, Mosley, as well as C.J. Gardner-Johnson, now you're seeing the team may go in a different direction. Now people are talking offense. Would you be opposed to the Lions going offense at 6 and 18? Maybe something like Skoronski at 6, maybe Hendon Hooker at 18, or Bijan at 18. Some form of 2 offensive players at 6 and 18. Would you oppose?
Well, I was really on the Skoronski bandwagon for a long time, but just studying more and hearing a little bit more, and just some of the stuff I've read. He only weighs 311 pounds, something like that.
Yeah,
and he just looks small too.
Guy.
Yeah, he just looks small too, and I like him. Look, he's got the lineage. His grandfather played for the Green Bay Packers back in the 50s and 60s when they won 5 championships in 7 years. So it's really, he's got the genes for it, and he'll be a first-round pick in top half of the first round. But no, but the running back intrigues me more than any of those other players you mentioned. I would, if I was looking for a running back, I would take him in a minute. I really would. And if the Lions take him, all the more good to them. That would not be a bad pick to me at all. It's not what I would do, but it would not be a bad pick at all.
Michael O'Hara, DetroitLions.com, joining us on the phone right now. And Mike, the free agency period has essentially come and gone with the Detroit Lions, and guys are getting their numbers now. There's a lot of excitement about this team. Has Brad Holmes put them in a position in this upcoming draft to just take the best player available? I know that's kind of a boring statement, but are there any major needs on this team where he has to fit a player into 6 or fit a player into 18, or can he legit just go down his board and take whoever the best player is?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because we've been talking about that out here the last week and a half. Number one, to me, the only pressing need gotta have is a proven backup quarterback, or a proven quarterback who can be your backup. And I don't think they have that. I really don't. They haven't had it for a couple of years, actually, but I think that's something that Brad Holmes and his staff have to solve. Hopefully hopefully on their behalf, before they start the off-season program, but certainly before they get to training camp. But I think they're in a position right now where they can take the best player available, and I don't think that's a bad position to be in at all. I mean, one of the things that really I think that ruins rosters is when you start reaching for players, number one, to fill a need, and taking players that are taking substandard players. That's number one. And number two, and I had this told to me by somebody, a personnel person, a very highly rated personnel person, also said the other thing is that you look and you see something, or you try to see something in a player that's really not there. Let's just say, for example, the Detroit Lions need a tight end or a wide receiver or whatever it is, and there's nobody on the board who's like a first or second round pick, and so you try to force feed a third round pick into that position, and it weakens your roster over time. And so I don't think the Lions are in that position. First of all, there's no evidence that in his first 2 years as general manager of the Lions, there's no evidence at all that Brad Holmes goes that way. We just look at the players, look at the picks he and his staff have produced in 2 years, with more to come, including this year's free agent group. So I don't think it's a concern, but I don't think it's one for the Detroit Lions.
Mike, my apologies. Last question out of me. We talk so much about the draft. We talk so much about free agent. I'm going to just jump into the season next year. Is there a game you have circled on your calendar like that's going to be the game? If the Lions win this one, this is when I'm completely excited and bought into what they can be.
Well, they haven't. We only know the opponents. We don't know the order yet. That'll come out later this month, I think. I think it's number one. Whoever they play on Thanksgiving Day, we'll know when they go off when they walk off the field on Thanksgiving Day. We'll know how deeply rooted they are into the race. We really will, and that'll probably be like game 11, game 12, something like that.
Yeah.
Just to me, just looking back on it too, and really. Braylon, I haven't really given this much thought, but since you asked, I just think that at that point we will know everything we need to know about the Detroit Lions. And you know what? I expect it to be something. I expect it to be good reading. I really do.
I love it.
Looking forward to it, Mo. Hey, that defensive backfield, they have reworked it completely, and they got some players back there, some hitters, and you get to see Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes talk about these guys. You could see their face and how excited they are. I wanted to ask you about Jeff Okudah and how he fits in to this secondary. What are your thoughts on Jeff going forward?
Well, first of all, a great question. I really thought, after 2 years where he barely played, he only played 9 games with 4 starts in his rookie year 2 years ago. 3 years ago. 2 years ago, he played part of the first half before going out with an Achilles injury. Yep. And then last year, look, he started the first 15 games. He looked good, most of it, but didn't finish the season. So something came unhinged there at the end. The Lions were playing for the playoffs the last 2 weeks, and he wasn't part of it. So Tommy, that's a great question, and I don't have a great answer for it because I don't know. But I'll put it this way: I don't like what I saw. It certainly didn't. It didn't elevate him in my eyes or anybody else's. I don't think. But look, he's a player with talent. He's a guy who works at it. But somehow or other, he's got to find a way to bring it all together. He really does.
We hope so.
Hey, Mike, the Lions have 5 of the top 81 picks in the draft, 5 of 81. Did they make all 5 selections, do you think? I mean, the reason I ask that is because I feel like this team doesn't need 5 starters. If Brad Holmes identifies somebody, something is telling me they're not making 5 picks here in the top 81.
That's a great question, and this is off the top of my head, but I might not have the numbers exactly right. But I think the Lions went into last season with 7 draft picks, or 8. I'm not sure which one. It was either 7 or 8, and they gave up one of those in the trade for Jameson Williams. Okay, but when it was all said and done, he had maneuvered his picks and his board, and he still had those 7 or 8 picks by making other deals. So, he had enough picks to deal with and do whatever he wanted to do with them. Here's what I think. I would be surprised, and I wrote this on my Mach 3 draft pick earlier this week, came out on Monday. I would be surprised if the Detroit Lions are still sitting at the 18th position on the first round, first night of the draft. I think something tells me that Brad Holmes is going to make a move of some kind, whether it's to add picks, whether it's to give up a pick to move up, whatever it is. I think he'll see something there that's better than he's looking at.
I'm loving what you're saying, Mo. And Ryan is like jumping up and down in his seat right now because he wants them to move up and get Bijan Robinson.
That was my hot take alert. That was my hot take alert.
Hey, so we're rooting for that, man. So before the draft, before the season, before we even know the schedule, how it lays out, all right, Mo, you got 17 games. What are the Lions going to win this year? The over-under set at 9.5 in Las Vegas. What is the Dean giving me right now?
The Dean, thank you very much for that one. Well, let me just say this. When I went back and looked, I do a Monday countdown column, and I do a preview Monday countdown column before the start of the season. And I write it, and I don't pay any attention to it, honestly. The season starts. I couldn't even tell you what I wrote until the end of the season. I look back on it. And I look back on my first Monday countdown column last year. I think it was January 10th or something like that, a week after the season was over. I had picked the Detroit Lions to go 9-8.
Get out of here.
Back to back?
I swear to God, I did.
Back to back?
Get out of here.
But here's how smart I really am. The year after the Lions went 7-9, 2007, I picked them to go 9-7 and make the playoffs.
Okay.
They went 0-16.
Yes.
They went 0-16.
Oh my God.
I think that he trade so let's move ahead a decade and a half. I think the Detroit Lions of this season, I think they're a double-digit win season. I think they'll win 10 or 11 games. If I had to pick it right now, I'd go 11-6, and they win the division. And you fans out there who have season tickets, you suffering fans, there will be a home playoff game at Ford Field.
Yeah, baby.
Let's
go.
Guess who just got season tickets for the first time today? Ryan Ermanni for the first time in his life.
I am a season ticket holder, Mike O'Hara.
You know, Ryan Ermanni, all that hooping and hollering just there. All it tells me is that you're going to sell your tickets in the playoffs.
Well, hey, and pay for my season probably. So you're probably right.
This is a man whose season smells profit.
I'm a businessman, Mike. I'm a businessman.
Yes, you are.
And Mo, we leave you with something that you and me have always said back in the day during Tiger season. You ready?
Oh, my God.
Fill in the blank.
Yep.
The Detroit Tigers are facing
an insurmountable 0-0 tie.
Yes, sir. Yes, they are. No, they're playing better now, Mo. Things are looking up.
Yeah, they are.
Things are looking up.
Losing 2-1 right now.
That's okay.
Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it, buddy. Check out Mike on DetroitLions.com. Great stuff there. Hey, we're going to take a break. Come right back. When we do, more Lions talk. Something Mike O'Hara just said. Kind of going along the lines of what Dan Miller said as well. Also, we've got Tim McCormick coming up top of the hour. But first, a message from Cousins Maine Lobster.
Yes, sir. Woodward Sports brought to you by Cousins Maine Lobster in Detroit. Check out their food trucks rolling around the city, offering the finest lobster rolls, lobster tacos, and more. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com. Right now, search locations in Detroit and find their schedule. Download their app, order ahead, and get some points. Click on that QR button right there. It's that easy. cousinsmainelobster.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, it is such a fun time of year. I think there's so much to discuss and so much to be excited about. Everybody is their best general manager.
Oh, yeah.
Our good friend Ken Brown.
KB.
Absolutely. Ken Brown chiming in 6-18 in a second next year for 334-48.
I would love to do that, but it ain't going to happen.
You know, it's one of the reasons for my question to Mike O'Hara, Braylon, and it was in regards to, like, are you taking 5 players? You don't need 5 starters. There are not 5 starter spots available on this team right now. This is not a total rebuild. You need players that can play and help you compete for a championship. And there is one guy in particular that could help you do that on the defensive side of the ball. You're going to have to give up a lot. Are you willing to make a package to move up to 3 to get him? And that's Will Anderson.
I would definitely move up to get Will Anderson. You know, Will Anderson, this is a move that's come up. We started talking about this a little bit yesterday with the Arizona Cardinals, kind of what they have going on. I mean, you talk about who was the best player in the draft 2 years ago. You know, we talked about Will Anderson. If he was in that draft, he was the best player coming into the season last year. You talk about even after the season. He's one of those guys, man. He's the best player, I think, top to bottom in this draft. I think Jalen Carter's the anomaly in this draft. I think the potential for what he can be. But we know what Will Anderson is going to be. He's going to be a monster in this league. And you play him on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, and then you have Lee McNeil and you have Bugs in the middle. Like, you're talking about wreaking havoc from both sides of the ball, man. Where's the quarterback going to go? Where's Jalen Hurts scrambling to? Is he going to go this way and try to take his chance with Aiden Hutchinson? Is he going to go this way, take his chance with Will Anderson Jr.? That's how you lock it up on defense, man. I think that would be the only move to move up and get. It would be Anderson for me.
My God, man.
Will Anderson Jr.
You just got me going.
Yeah,
just thinking about that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not one to move up and lose 2 first-round picks for one. But like you guys said, maybe they are a player or 2 away only. And a guy like that can really solidify that whole defense.
Here's why you don't do it, though. Can you imagine drafting Jalen Carter at 6 and Bijan Robinson at 18, or Jalen Carter at 6 and Bijan Robinson at 12, even if you had to move up, and those are the 2 players you're getting? Would you rather Jalen Carter and Bijan Robinson or Will Anderson? Just going around the room, who would you prefer? I would
take the 2 over the 1 if I can get those 2.
Ask again. Say it again.
Jalen Carter and Bijan Robinson, or Will Anderson Jr. So, because I'm saying that, like, I want Will Anderson Jr. so bad, but you got to take the emotion out of it too, because I think he can be a generational player for your defense. But you can get 2 of them potentially.
I mean, 2 is always better than 1. Yeah, 2 is better than 1. Is that how the 2 is going to happen? Like,
well, that's, you just don't know. That's the part.
That becomes the thing. But then the other side of that too is you're saying, you know, blank or blank versus blank. You know, you are adding, if you do that, you are adding a 34th pick. You know, you're adding some other picks in there, so you still have a chance to pick some really good guys at 34. So, you know,
yeah, I mean, you could potentially get Will Anderson and Mozzie Smith at 34.
This is true. This is true. There's
Mozzie's moving up.
There's a host of linebackers in there. There's a host of wide receivers. Mozzie Smith, like you said, is moving up too. So it's not a bad thing. I mean, Will Anderson, you're talking about sacrificing those 2 players in the first for them, but Will Anderson, he's that player worth sacrificing for. Mm-hmm. I think top to bottom, he's the best player in the draft. Like, I think he has the best upside. I think he has the best career in college. I think he is that guy. I think he's the best player in the draft. So if you're getting him at 3, I think you can sacrifice those other 2 and then get lucky at 34.
Let's say you get someone at 6, just any guy, all right? Even if it's the offensive lineman. At 18, who knows? Maybe you get lucky and there's a guy there for you. Maybe you just take Joey Porter Jr. and you make your secondary that much better. I don't know. It's just, I think there's a lot of great players in this draft, and the Lions are hitting the jackpot.
There's a lot of really good players in this draft.
But you got 4 or 5 lottery tickets.
Yeah.
To get maybe 2 superstars.
Yeah.
Out of those 5.
That'd be nice.
That's some pretty good odds.
I know Michael Hare didn't particularly care for Skoronski at 6.
He just thinks he's undersized.
Exactly. I wanted to play this. We had Dan Miller on yesterday. I wanted to play this clip for you regarding just the potential of taking an offensive lineman, because, again, if you're not in love with the quarterback, if Jalen Carter is off the board, you know, is there a trade back situation? You might want to think about getting comfortable with taking an offensive lineman with one of those first 2 picks. Here's what Dan had to say about it yesterday.
I still think there's needs. I still think backup quarterback is a big question. If you think of yourself as a division winner, playoff contender, NFC contender, you better be ready in case Jared Goff can't play. Right now, I don't think they are. So I think that's still something that needs to be addressed. I think the offensive line, with Big V now having a chance to come back, apparently, you know, I think with Glasgow coming back, I think the offensive line feels like it's in pretty good shape. I still think they could draft there for the future, knowing that Jonah's going to be a free agent after this season. But I don't see glaring needs. Here's the thing that I think they did coming out of free agency. I think they can look up at the wall right now and see their depth chart and say, we can play a game tomorrow. We know that we're good enough at each position to go play a game tomorrow. Doesn't mean you're finished, But it also doesn't mean that there's anything that you go into the draft with desperation, having to fill a hole, that you have to force something. I think they can follow their board, add talent, and I think they've given themselves some option at different places they can go. I still think interior pass pressure from defensive tackle would be something nice to add. But for the most part, I think the work that they've done has put them in a good position. But I'm not going to be shocked if an offensive lineman goes there, because it is what this team is kind of built around at this point. And I do have some concerns about Jonah Jackson becoming a free agent and the ability to pay, the guys they have on that offensive line, 2 of whom are already getting paid, and 1 of whom in Panay, who's going to get paid here soon.
Yeah, so that is I think that's a great way to put it too. They could play a game tomorrow and be just fine.
Yep.
How are you going to build a team for the future? And that is where kind of I came in, and I've always said you've got to look at the quarterback, because yes, they can play tomorrow. Yes, they can play next year, but how do they keep this run going longer? And that's another reason for Bijan Robinson. Are you going to pay DeAndre Swift? You're not going to pay DeAndre Swift. You're just not going to do it. On the offensive line, Bray, you've already paid Decker. You've already paid Ragnow. You've got Jonah Jackson coming up. You've got Sewell going to get a big payday. You've got Glasgow and Vitae now, not for a long time.
No, they're rent players.
So, the offensive line is an intriguing spot.
Yeah, definitely an intriguing spot. And then you look at Skoronski. A lot of people are trying to push back on him. Arms are a little bit short, not as heavy as you want him, but that's because he's more of a run blocking guard. You put him in guard and make him a run blocker, he's going to be a damn good guard for years to come. He's definitely going to be a Pro Bowler. You put him in tackle, maybe not so much. Maybe those arms come into factor. Maybe the factor his footwork isn't the best. Maybe that comes into factor. But if you put him at guard, you have him at guard. You got a damn good guard. It's going to be a Pro Bowl guard. He'll be under 5. He's got some time on his contract for you to figure out what you're going to do with those other offensive linemen. So, it's not necessarily the sexy pick. It's not necessarily, something that I went into the draft thinking about. But like you said, man, they've put themselves in position to be pretty good at different spaces. So, at this point, we're at the mercy of seeing what Brad Holmes, the mad scientist, what is his game plan? Like, what is he trying to do to set the team up for the future?
I think they've done so well in building this team in the last 2 years that they're ready for this. My line, they're playing with house money. They can't lose. Whoever they pick, they get me a linebacker, defensive lineman, an offensive lineman, a running back, a backup quarterback, a kid that you could bring up through the ranks, a cornerback. I'm happy with any of those picks in their first 5 picks.
Incredible stuff. That's just kind of where we are with the Detroit Lions right now. Who would have thunk it?
No one.
Who would have thunk it?
I mean,
no one.
Pretty amazing.
Like I said, that's why I always keep you guys humble. I get it. It's going well.
We got to see it.
Still ain't made the playoffs yet.
No doubt.
So there's still ways you can botch it up in this draft.
No doubt.
Luckily, I'm not drafted.
Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to transition the conversation into a little basketball. What in the world is going on with the Detroit Pistons? Troy Weaver sent a letter to fans yesterday, or 2 days ago, I should say. Juwan Howard has essentially a mass exodus out of Ann Arbor, going to the NBA and transfer portal and such. What is happening with that program? We'll talk to Tim McCormick. We'll do it next. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
All right, a Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck, Michigan. It's a fun night, guys, or a fun day, because there's 2 ways to play it. $12 unlimited open play. That means you can go when it opens, and you got to leave when they close the doors. $12. Throw your arm out. They don't mind. Do it all day long. Or a private lane reservation when it gets a little more crowded. You get it for yourself and 10 or 12 of your friends. You get it for 2 hours for $120. That's less than $10 a head. If you're thirsty, they got you covered. Multiple full bars, over 100 beers on the menu, and the $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in. They don't mind. Or have it delivered. Have a great time. Get your fold on at thefoldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir-fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Planet Fitness is home to your judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever. Tons of equipment, a full body workout in a 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. But the best part about all this, you get it all just for $10 a month.
You're kidding me.
I kid you not,
Only
Ryan.
$10?
Only $10.
Oh my gosh.
Join Planet Fitness in club today, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
That's right.
You have an opinion? Make sure.
Oh, hi everybody. That's all right. Don't worry about it, Fletch. I gotta make an apology to Fletch. When I was ripping on Torkelson last week, Fletch said, "Oh, right guy. His exit velo over 100 miles an hour. The exit velo." And watching the Tigers in studio today, they just flashed a stat that coming into today, Spencer Torkelson has 9 of his 16 at-bats. The ball has jumped off his bat. The exit velo of over 100. Only Mike Trout has more.
Does anybody notice how they're still making fun of me for that? They're going to be like, "Oh, well, he was right." But they don't care. They don't care.
The announcers love talking about the exit velo. I don't give a damn about exit velo. Did you get a hit? Did you get around the bases? That's all I care.
Did you get a hit? Oh, great. So to help us explain what exit velo means, we'll bring in Tim McCormick of Valley Sports Detroit, a 10-year NBA vet, of course, one of the
he was a first-round pick, baby.
Yeah, that's right, one of the Michigan Wolverine greats, first-round pick in the NBA. Tim, how you doing, my friend? What do you know about the exit velo?
I know nothing. But let's move on quickly.
We're moving, Tim. We're moving.
I'd like to move on quickly from this Pistons season, if we could. I mean, this is how would you characterize this season to you, Tim? And where is this franchise's best hopes on the whim of a ping pong ball right now? Is that where we are?
Wow. So I think it's been very uninteresting. It has not been compelling. It's been boring. It's been predictable. It's been hard to watch. And I do think that, as bad as they were going to be early in the season, like we could tell what was coming. To get a chance at Victor Wembanyama is something that's really important. If they don't get him, I would be really happy with 2 or 3. If we slid to 4 or 5, I would be decimated. I think that would be absolutely horrible because, to me, there are 3 players that could help the Pistons in this draft, and it's Scoot Henderson, Victor, and Brandon Miller. After that, you're talking about projects. You're talking about guys that, might have to wait 3 or 4 years before they're really, really ready to go. So it's been a hard year to watch. And the truth is that even if they get Victor, they're still looking at another 2 or 3 years for the young guys to develop. 19 and 20-year-olds don't get you to the playoffs for the most part, unless they're a piece of a veteran team. It's a long journey.
What did you make of the letter that Troy Weaver sent to Pistons fans yesterday?
So I thought it was not effective. I mean, it's a nice gesture, but I think that he was maybe trying to reach out and console a lost fan base. The good news is that if the Pistons play better next year and they have a compelling product on the court and you can see where they're heading, everybody will jump right back on board and it'll be very exciting. So, I mean, a letter didn't really move the needle for me at all. Did it move it for you?
No, and that's one of the things, as a fan, you want to make sure that that people care as much as you do. I mean, we take this stuff personally as fans, and we always have. And sometimes when it seems like you don't care as much as we care, I appreciate the gesture, but what are you going to do about it? If they don't get this number one pick, Tim, does that mean that the Detroit Pistons are just they're going to keep trying? I mean, nobody wants you to try anymore. You need this. Professional sports at some point is about wins and losses, and you can't get your teeth kicked in by 20 every night.
Well, if you're really hoping and praying and banking on getting the number one pick, it's only a 14% chance.
Right.
Exactly.
And I could make an argument that Scoot Henderson or Brandon Miller could be key components and the team will be moving in a positive direction next year. But because they're so young and because they don't defend it all, if they start off next year 5-15, what's to keep them from saying, well, maybe, the number one pick could really be exactly what we need. And I don't think that will happen. They've got to try to win. And I do think that if you have Boyan and a key free agent, they've got a bag full of money, then they could be competitive next year. But if competitive means sliding into the 10th spot in the East and making the play-in game, that's progress, but that's still probably a 30-win season.
Tim, I wanted to ask you about your thoughts on the lottery system, period. I think it's outlived its time, but is there a better way to do this? Like, when a team gets eliminated, is there a way to play maybe a tournament? I don't know, but the lottery to me is not the way to go anymore. I mean, the NFL, you get the worst record, you pick the first, you're on the clock already. The Pistons last night locked up the number one pick per se. They should be on the clock. What are your thoughts on the lottery?
Well, I think that if you're the worst team in the league, you shouldn't draft any lower than 3. I think that the way it's set up, the Pistons could draft 5, the number 2 team could draft 6, the number 3 team could draft 7. The third team in the league, they need a good player, and to slide down to number 7, like, what was Luke Kennard, like 8 or 9?
Yeah, something in that neighborhood. Yeah.
You're getting a role player that you hope will develop into more, and I don't know. It's kind of self-perpetuating, keeping the bad teams bad. I've seen a lot of mock drafts in which all of a sudden, teams that are 11, 12, 13 worst in the NBA are getting the number one pick.
Right.
And so
that's terrible.
That would make me kind of mad, actually.
It's happened before. That's why the system has outlived itself. I mean, back in the day when Patrick Ewing went to the Knicks and the card was bent and all of that kind of stuff, it's outlived itself. It's got to be changed. Who can change this? And do you have an idea?
It's not going to change. It really won't. I think Adam Silver and his people are very smart. There's a reason why they're doing this, and they're trying to make NBA basketball more competitive, where teams are desperate to win games, and if you try to lose games, it's an ugly product, as we're seeing, and it's going to take a long time to get better. Now, let me throw this out as a ray of hope.
Yeah.
3 years ago, Phoenix, Cleveland, Sacramento, horrible teams, losing a ton. They benefited from some good luck in the draft, and now they all have home court advantage. That's just 3 years ago. So,
yep.
3 years from now, there's a chance that the Pistons and the Rockets and the Spurs, based on losing today, could be a relevant team again.
Talking to Tim McCormick, Bally Sports Detroit, and of course one of the great Michigan basketball players of all time. And I want to talk about that program. What is happening in Ann Arbor
besides a mass exodus?
Yeah, so I'm disappointed, and I'm a bit frustrated, but I'm not going to lose hope either. There's something that needs to be addressed, and I don't quite know what it is, because you have players that are not ready for the NBA that are so anxious to leave. Talking about Moussa Diabate, Caleb Houston, Kobe Buffkin, Jet Howard. They could all benefit from more seasoning. I mean, I understand that. I know guys want to take a shot at getting wealthy, but also Frankie Collins and Brandon Johns and Zeb Jackson and Colin Castleton and David DeJulius, they all left too, and they would have all been, key players, probably starters on this year's team. Now, I will say this, like DJ Wilson, when his name comes to your mind, you probably think, well, he left too early. 6'10" with a lot of athleticism. He should have stayed around. He took his shot. He never really got that big second contract. He's a failure, right? Well, he made $13 million so far, and he's still a young man. So you look at those numbers, and you can't really fault him for setting up his family and future generation with what he's made so far.
Is the process flawed there, Tim? Do you think the kids are getting bad advice, or it's just the kids today, and I hate to say that phrase, but the kids today are just so eager to get to the NBA?
Well, I was eager to get to the NBA. I left after my third year and was the 12th pick, and there were a lot of people that said, you're not ready, you shouldn't go. Well, I wanted to live my dream too, and so I get it. I think that when you look at Kobe and Jet specifically, they're going to do really well when they get to the draft combine. They're both smart kids. They're very well spoken. They're going to shoot the heck out of the ball when they work out for teams. The NBA is going to say, look at Jet. I mean, look at the length and the athleticism. Same thing with Kobe. They're tailor-made for what the NBA is looking for. I think both of them will probably go higher in the draft than what they're projected right now, because they're gonna be very appealing when the teams sit down and go face to face with them.
Tim, what's your take on the Hunter Dickinson situation that happened?
So when you look at Hunter, I didn't think he was having fun this year. I think Michigan had some bad chemistry. I'm not totally sure why that is, but he got double and triple teamed, and that's with Kobe and Jet on the squad. I'm sure he looked and said, okay, I mean, they're going to send 4 guys at me if Jet and Kobe are gone. I've got my degree, and I'm probably not going to play in the NBA at any point, so I better maximize my value right now. And so he may be saying to himself, I want to go play for a national championship. I want to go to Kansas or Kentucky or Duke. He may say, hey, America, I'm here for the highest bidder. Doesn't matter where, whoever pays me $200,000 plus, I'm coming to your school. Or he might say, I want to play close to home. My family had to travel a lot to see me.
Maryland.
Town just has a new coach. Maryland had a good year. Those are right in his backyard. There's a lot of reasons. I don't know what it is. I know that wherever Hunter's at, I'm going to enjoy watching him play because I'm a big fan.
And Tim, last couple here for you. Just your take on March Madness as a whole, all the upsets that happened. And last night, it turned out 15 million people, just under 15 million people watched Monday night's final. It's the lowest rated. I watched it. Us basketball fans are going to watch it. Do you think it was because all the underdogs were there, or do you think people didn't want to wait till 9:20 at night? And then how do you compare it to the women who did $10 million on their own?
Well, last year you had you had Kansas and Villanova and North Carolina and Duke. And that game was on at 9:20 and had huge rating.
Yeah.
People like watching star power. And I walked away feeling like, gosh, I wish I would have watched UConn more during the regular season because they're very fun to watch, excellent basketball. And San Diego State had a great year too, but they lack star power. There's nobody on San Diego State that's complaining in the NBA, and we kind of saw what was coming after watching throughout the tournament. UConn was way better than everybody else. And really, the tournament was fun. I prefer to see power conference teams. I watch Kentucky and Duke and Carolina. I watch all the Big Ten, but I don't watch a lot of Big East. I don't watch a lot of Mountain West or WAC or any of the other. I like power conference. I like the Big Ten. So you're asking the wrong guy. I still love the tournament, but I like seeing the big boys.
How about that Jersey City power? Hurley's this year, last year, St. Peter's. That's my home, so I had to at least give them a plug. And the women, really, they were put on the map this year like no other year. And it came down to Caitlin Clark against that big LSU team. They already knocked off South Carolina. They just ran out of steam against LSU. Just your take on Caitlin Clark and the whole women's game going forward.
So I've never really watched Caitlin Clark play. I didn't watch any women's basketball this year, and it's not to disrespect the women's game. I watched plenty of highlights. I think Caitlin Clark, she's a great player. There's just so much opportunity to watch basketball nowadays. So I've got to be honest, like every night there's 3 or 4 NBA games I want to watch. And I watch every single Michigan and Michigan State game. I watch the best matchups in the Big Ten. I love it when you've got Kentucky playing at Alabama. I watch that game. When Virginia's at North Carolina, I watch that game. I only have so many hours in my week to watch basketball that I don't know anything about the women's game. But I certainly think that it's interesting. I'm glad a lot of people are watching it, and I hope they have a huge market next year and it grows more and more.
Tim, thanks for doing this, and I love that perspective on it because I kind of feel that
That's
that
the way
too.
it
I
is.
mean, I only have so much time to dedicate to the television. I love the way you put that. Thank you so very much, sir, and we'll talk to you down the road here.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. You got it. The great Tim McCormick. Check him out on Bally Sports. Hey, guys, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC gives you the same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, standing strong for over 55 years. That's right. Over there on Michigan Avenue. You can find the brands you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots. He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, Alta Equipment. How about them? At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a call today. Try them out. 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
Hey, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazawey, Braylon Edwards. Man, let me tell you about Braylon Edwards for a minute.
He gutted it out.
This guy gutted out this week. Coming to work here. He wasn't at his best. His allergies are all over the place. He's not feeling great. He wanted to be with his guys and gutted it out. He's been trying his best, and by golly, it was just time at the 3 o'clock hour. We just said, go get your rest.
We got to rest him up.
Got to rest him up. If there's one guy in this building who deserves a couple of days off here, it's Braylon Edwards. Nobody's been better since January 1st. He has rolled into 2023 and is just kicked some tail. And we're going to finish the rest of the show without him. And hopefully he'll be good in time to come to opening day tomorrow, because it's a big day in
that's
Detroit.
That's going to be fun, man.
It is going to be fun.
Tell me about your day.
So
tomorrow.
My day,
what time does it start?
I'll get down to the ballpark at 6. You know, it's fun too getting there at 6 because you drive in.
It's dark.
You know, I drive in at about 5:40. I'll leave 5:45. You take the trip down Jefferson. You get to the park at 6. You see this calm before the storm, and usually there's so many tents up, and there's so many flags and different promotions, and everybody downtown, all the bars and restaurants have their setups already outside in preparation of opening day. You might see a drunk Tigers fan already passed out on the curb the night before.
You'll see a lot at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As long as it's not raining, and it is not expected to rain. This rain is expected to end. It'll be a great day, and it is probably my favorite work day of the year. I'll be down there at 6. I think my first hit for Fox 2 is at 6:45. But you get down there, you get parked, you get set up, you get your credential, you walk to your location. Then you got to figure out what you're going to do. Yep. So
who's coming down to Fox tomorrow?
So for me,
Nate Robertson. What else?
So Dan Miller and Nate Robertson, they start at 10. So the sports portion of the day starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So from 10 until 1. That's the Fox 2 Sports pregame show.
Got it.
Dan Miller, Nate Robertson. I'll be a part of it with Jennifer Hammond. And then the game on Fox 2 tomorrow at 1. And then the postgame show happens. They don't know. Usually in years past, the postgame show would get done at the game would end at 4:30, 4:45. Right. You do 15 minutes of a postgame show, and then you start your Fox 2 News at 5.
Exactly.
This year, nobody knows how long the postgame show is going to be because of the pitch clock.
Exactly.
So you could essentially have a 90-minute postgame show on Fox 2 leading up to the game. So that is a pretty cool thing. When we're down there, Maz, tomorrow,
Woodward Sports kicks it off.
Yeah, we'll be down there. And again, I'll be on the field from 6 until noon tomorrow for Fox 2. And then I'll probably stay at Comerica Park for about another half hour or so and then walk over to our location, Maz. We're going to be at the Music Hall tent,
350
essentially.
Madison. Come on down and see us. You'll see a big stage. We got the tent up. The guys have been working their butts off to get this thing. And look at the weather that they had to do today to set up and test. Adam and Justin in the back and the rest of the gang working their tails off. So hopefully everything goes off without a hitch tomorrow. It starts at 8. All 3 shows will be down there. The heavyweights will make it back here for the post game. And we're going to have some fun. We also got our street team out there. You'll see the heavyweights on the street team tomorrow. They're going to be all over the place. They start at the Brass Rail, Love It Tequila, and Annex. So they'll be down there handing out some great stuff from Woodward Sports. So hope to see you guys.
What's funny about tomorrow, too, and even where we're going to be, last year we were down there, and obviously the game wasn't over. We'll be on from 2 to 4.
Correct.
And the game wasn't over yet by the time. This year the game should be over, so we'll get that crowd leaving the ballpark
nice.
and all of the fans who are kind of out hanging out there because the game should end around 3:30.
Yep, and that tent is going to be raring to go. They got the DJs in there. Stick will be in there making some trouble. Come on down and see us tomorrow. We look forward to it, and make sure you tell us who you are and who you are, of course, on the chat.
No doubt about it. Guys, I'm going to take a break to get back on time. Fletch, what am I doing here? Do we have? Do you want me to do something? Lady Jane's. How about that?
I need a haircut.
You should get a haircut from my girl Becca.
Talk to Becca.
I'm going to talk to Becca after the show. 30 minutes, Maz. We'll get you a haircut. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience, and you can register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Come to Lady Jane's. Open 7 days a week. Several locations in the Metro Detroit area, several more around the country. Find one near you. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazawey here. Braylon gave it all he had.
Yep.
Gave it all he had today, but a little bit under the weather, so he is not with us for this second hour. Maz, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
And JB Fletch, feel free if you've got any thoughts on this as well. The Masters starts tomorrow.
Yes.
And I feel because it's Tigers opening day, I'm not as excited for the Masters as I normally am. To me, it's the greatest golf tournament of them all because I think everybody.
Oh, it is.
Everybody has a chance to win. You've got 50-year-old Phil Mickelson that could win it. You've got 50-year-old Tiger Woods that could win it. So it does feel a little bit less than for me just tomorrow, but this weekend it's going to be fantastic. I mean, Tiger Woods saying, I don't know how many more Masters I have in me, but Phil Mickelson is back. The controversy of LIV versus PGA, I think that helps the game. I'm excited about the tournament as a whole, not so much tomorrow because of the Detroit Tigers' responsibilities, but I'll be watching for Tiger. Phil Mickelson, by the way, goes off at 12:24.
Hey, man, it's a great tournament. It's an event. Jim Nance is there. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. Tiger Woods at 10:18.
There you go. If Tiger's in it, I'm in it. If a big name is on the top of the leaderboard, I'm going to pay attention a little bit. What I like the best about the Masters is, like you said, all the champions play in this. So, and anyone's got a shot at this. If you could get hot and at the right time and play on this course at Augusta, you got a chance to win and make some great television, which is always good, man. When Tiger's coming down the stretch and he's got a shot to win it, or you got Phil Mickelson, or you got Sergio Garcia, go on and on and on. It's more fun. What I like about it, and I think it's a snobby game. That's me.
It's your personal opinion.
That's my personal opinion. I think it's a snobby game. I have a lot of
your personal opinion sucks.
That's fine. I got a lot of great friends that are in the golf business. I got 2 kids that are caddies, and I thank them. And I thank the Lockmore. I thank for everything. It's great. I'm happy for you guys. I personally don't know how anybody can go out on a golf course for 18 freaking holes and keep this 18 freaking hole. I don't understand it. I can't get it. But you guys like it. Go out, have a good time, enjoy it, have your drinks, do your thing. What I like about the Masters is you could go, if you get in the Masters, you can eat and drink on the cheap. Do you see their menu? Like pimento sandwich is like
good.
$1.50. Egg salad, $2. A Coke's $2. It's very affordable to the person that gets in. Now, how you get in, that's tough. to get in. You got to really hit the lottery to be able to buy that $75 ticket or that $150 ticket. If you don't hit the lottery and get those tickets, then you're going to be paying top dollar to get there. But once you're there, I hear it's second to none. And I was blessed years ago. I had a dear friend of mine that was very sick, and my wife and I, and we were able to send him and his family, with a lot of help from other people, to Augusta he stayed for like 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
There. And it was the year Phil Mickelson won. The first time Phil Mickelson won. I remember he got a flag with Phil's autograph on it, and he's since passed away, my buddy. But that was like a dream. And I know golf fans, that's their dream, to go to Augusta and watch it. And I appreciate that. It's the Super Bowl of golf.
And sports fans in general,
Yes.
too. I mean, there are so many different events that I've been blessed to cover. I mean, you name it, I've probably covered it. I've been very blessed in that respect. 2 things I have not done in my life.
Indy 500?
No, I don't care about that.
Okay, well, I figured I'd throw it out there.
I thought you meant like Big Ten championship.
No.
The Masters.
Okay.
I'd love to go check out the Masters. There's a part of me that doesn't want to do the Kentucky Derby, but just to say that I've done the Kentucky Derby just as just to say it. And then I've never been to the Rose Bowl.
Huh.
To see Michigan at the Rose Bowl, I think would be...
Well, you're going to get a chance, right? USC and UCLA.
Yeah,
are in the Big
I guess
Ten
that's
now.
true.
You could see a regular season game.
I guess that's true. I
at the
never
Rose Bowl.
considered that.
How about that?
I never considered that.
Lock it up, brother.
But I don't know if I'd feel like that's the Rose Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not going to be 110,000 people. You might have 90.
You're not going to have the end zones painted.
Correct.
You know,
and the flower in the middle, the rose in the middle.
Exactly. So just the pomp and circumstance of that.
I was so lucky to go to that 97 game. I mean, come on, man. That was a dream to be there and to see that championship. So I got that one scratched off. A couple of Kentucky Derbies. My kid Lily wants to go to a Kentucky Derby so much. I love this.
When's that coming in May?
It's the first Saturday in May.
Do you know any of the ponies yet?
Yeah, I like Forte to win the Kentucky Derby. Forte.
On April 5th at 3:32 p.m.
First Saturday in May.
First Saturday in May. You got Forte.
Forte.
All right.
Take it to the bank.
All right. Very good. Guys, I want to go around the NFL. Some news and notes happening in the league. Let's hit it, Maz.
Let's do it. Let's start you off with this, guys. I think this is a great story. Former Patriot, and I wish Braylon was here because he knows about Asante Samuel. Asante Samuel, you guys know about him. He's a chirper. He's a talker. Longtime Patriot. Won a couple Super Bowls there. He's not a big Bill Belichick fan. He put out a couple of tweets yesterday about the Mac Jones fiasco that's going on, that people say now that's not true. They're not trying to trade him. But look what Asante Samuel had to say.
So let me first start by reading the Robert Griffin tweet.
Yes.
It says, the Patriots have reportedly shopped Mac Jones to other teams this offseason, trying to trade him after giving him a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator and a special teams coach as his quarterback coach last year is mind-blowing. Asante Samuel quote tweets it and says, the silly things he used to get away with because of Brady. Brady was the great equalizer in all of this. Our good friend Dove Kleiman.
Yes, sir.
Dove Kleiman tweets out. He says, breaking. The Patriots have shopped quarterback Mac Jones to multiple teams in the 2023 offseason, a source tells Mike Florio. Asante Samuel quote tweets that. And y'all don't believe the truth. I mean.
That's 2 digs at Belichick, and he dug him the last couple of times too.
You know what I'd really like to know is I'd love to know what Bill Belichick said to or did to Asante Samuel.
Probably benched him, probably fined him,
right.
Probably chased him out of the team. I forgot where he went after he was with the Patriots. I forgot how he left the Patriots, to be honest with you.
Or what's the story with Matt Patricia and Darius Slay? Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Darius Slay, I think, was
at his locker, or
I think he was tweeting with someone else in the NFL, maybe a team that the Lions were playing, and he said something about, hey, you don't do. I think he said we don't do that kind of stuff.
It was something about God, I forget what it was, but it was something about another player in the NFL, and Matt Patricia walked up to him and was like, do you want to like
kiss his ass or something?
But the front part of it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You want to blank him like
you want to blank him blank.
Yeah, you want to blank his blank.
Right, that's what it was.
Yeah.
You want to blank his blank.
And that was the end.
Go for it, and that was it.
That was the end.
That was it. Matt Patricia walked up because Darius Slay was being so complimentary of somebody else.
Yes.
That's what it was. And I don't remember the player.
The chat will remember it, guaranteed.
Darius Slay was being so complimentary of another player in the league or another former player or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it went down. And Matt Patricia was like, well, if you love him so much or whatever, just you want to go blank is blank.
Yeah.
And
that was it. What did we get for Darius? A third-round pick?
That was it.
A third-round pick. Let me just
Yeah.
If you go back and
it was Richard Sherman, they're saying.
If you go back and just take Patricia out away from the Lions, you still have Darius Slay. You still have.
Well, we don't know. You don't know.
We might not have these guys, right?
Yeah,
we might not. We might not have Holmes and Campbell. So I guess it all comes out in the wash. I guess it all because I just thought that was funny.
You know what's great about this story? How people remember it differently.
Yeah.
So in this chat. It was a receiver says, I'm salty. Ali says he gave another player love and respect. John Jones says it was Richard Sherman. Nemo says he told Slay that he wasn't his guy compared to those other players. It's 4 different people with 4 different renditions of the story. And then you and I.
Right. We got our own thing. I believe ours is right. I do believe ours is right. If you like them that much, why don't you go blank
It
is
was
blank.
Odell Beckham Jr. says
blank is blank. Keep throwing names out. It might have been Braylon Edwards. Might have been Braylon.
Oh, God, that is so funny. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. We'll go around the NFL more. Lots more to get to in the NFL. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Oh, my God. Chili Peppers Tanning. Look outside, guys. Yeah. All right, you've done enough. We're going through a tornado watch right now. You're not going to get the sun in Michigan until the summer hits. We all know that. Till at least May comes. Then you might see the sun. You need your vitamin D. You got to look good, too. You got to get that skin the right color. And you got to feel good. That's what the vitamin D's for. That's what Chili Peppers Tanning can help you get and achieve. 27 locations around Metro Detroit, 2 right here on Woodward. So there's 1 in your neighborhood. Check them out. If you join the Pepper Club, they're going to beat all competitors by $5 on unlimited tanning. Plus, you get the cleanest salons in the D, the best tanning certified tanning professionals. You know it. It is the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. You get them all at chilipepperstanning.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, gang, join the Woodward Sports family and over 100,000 other sports fans. You know what it is. It's the biggest party of the year. It's Detroit's home opener tomorrow, downtown Detroit. We're going to be broadcasting live from the Grand Slam Festival at 350 Madison Ave. It's the biggest tent party in the D. The DJs are going to be all over their stick, making sure you're going to have a great time. Check in with Woodward Sports at our block party. We got our guys there, the Brass Rail, Love It Tequila, and Annex. Baseball season's here. Only one city can handle Woodward Sports. That is Detroit. We will see you tomorrow.
All right, guys. WoodwardSports.com. Brian Ermanni, Tom Mazawey here, taking you to the top of the hour. We've got a big day tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. I just quickly, Maz, before we get back to the NFL, I can't stop consuming like Detroit Lions stuff.
I know.
Like, I am so geeked up about this football, and it's baseball. I should be geeked up about baseball season.
We're not.
But I mean, we have not had this kind of excitement for a Detroit sports team in a long time. I guess, you know what? That's not fair to say. I think last year at this time, we were very excited about the Detroit Tigers.
We were.
We thought last year was the year that they were going to compete for division championship.
The rebuild was
they
over.
were going to take that next step.
Illich said it. The rebuild's over.
Absolutely. And it was quickly you were able to realize that was not the case. And
you know what? The beginning of this year really looked helpless. And the last two games, they have looked much better. Today they're struggling a little bit. They're playing the world champs.
Yeah, they're losing 4-1. And I did think about that. So this is a Jim Leland game to me today.
It's a throwaway.
Well, that's exactly right. This is a Jim Leland game to me. And what I'm saying about that is they won the first two games on the road. You know they're going to lose the third one, right?
They took the series already.
They won the series. Yep. They won the first two games. They got the series. It's good. So you just show up and play. You know you're going to lose the third game anyway. It's getaway day.
Tomorrow's is the matinee. It's the home opener.
Jim Leland, he would chew these guys out. This is not how we approach a baseball game. You know, I mean, just kind of like that kind of game.
You think A.J. Hinch has that in him?
Yeah, I think he does have it in him. I mean, they're just not very good.
No.
Right?
They're undermanned.
Yeah, they're undermanned. But again, it's just this kind of feeling about
hey, listen, if they could play hard, let me tell you something about the Pistons. Just a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I was going to a ton of home games.
Yep.
Taking my kids, too. It was affordable to get in. Little Caesar Arena was first around. And they played really hard.
Yes.
And then they tore that team up. Literally. Got rid of almost every single player when Troy Weaver came in and said, all right, that team's not going to win a playoff game. We're going forward this way. And they literally started to tank.
Mm-hmm.
If the Tigers can just play hard, stay in a game, shock a team or two, you know, they're not going to shut you out. They're not going to maybe no-hit you. You might get one no-hitter. You might get a Matt Manning no-hitter. You don't know. But, geez, man, play hard, be in the game, be smart, and be relevant at least. Don't win 60 games. 60 games, it would set the city back.
Don't win 6 games in April. Don't win 6 games in April. Can you get to 10? You know what I mean? Can you get to 10?
Yeah. And look, they don't have an easy game tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're playing the Red Sox.
Absolutely.
That's not an easy start.
Bo Sox swinging a bat around a little bit, Tom.
They can hit. They suck, though. I hate
anyway, sorry to derail a little bit there. I am so excited about these Detroit Lions, I can't even tell you.
Are you excited about Anthony Richardson? Are you really?
I'm excited to see what he can be, yes. The more it's going on, the more I'm convinced he will not be a Detroit Lion.
I'll tell you why he won't.
Okay.
Because he's visiting 6 teams today.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lions are not on the list.
So this is from Josina Anderson. I'm told quarterback Anthony Richardson is currently expected to meet with the Raiders, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Titans, the Colts, and the Ravens on his visit to our per-league source. I'm also told Pete Carroll has developed a good connection with Richardson. Seahawks aren't currently scheduled either. Now, I don't know if this means anything or not. Braylon Edwards did the one team Braylon Edwards did not visit was the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
And they were the team that picked him. So I don't know how that works. Maybe they've got all the information. They've got all the interviews. They don't need to interview him. But I'll tell you who feels like a natural trade partner with the Detroit Lions to me is the Titans. The Titans on that list, they feel kind of like a team that has some interest in trading up.
And they need a quarterback.
They absolutely needed a quarterback. They took Malik Willis in the 3rd round last year. That was not a good pick. But the Titans at number
bunch of idiots thought he would be number 1 pick.
Yeah. The Titans at number 11 feel like that could be a trade partner. And you could get probably a really nice haul to go down to 11. And you will also get a really nice player to go down to 11. There's plenty of guys on the board. If you just pull up the best available guys just along the big board right now, number 11 would be like a Luke Van Ness, a Christian Gonzalez, a Nolan Smith, somebody like that.
All good players.
All really good players. And then you never know what happens if you're interested in a Will Levis or, maybe you get a Bijan Robinson at 11.
Maybe. I don't think he gets past the Eagles, though.
I don't know. I'm just potentially.
I'd be shocked if the Buffalo Bills don't make a run to try to get that kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're one player away, and that's
they are
Bijan
missing
Robinson.
that player.
Yeah.
You put him in the backfield with that
Josh
team,
Allen,
and those receivers.
Diggs.
Come on.
Yeah.
He'd
Your
make
boy
them.
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis. He was a flash in the pan, it looks like. Hey, let's keep going, NFL. Austin Eckler, or Eckler, as Braylon used to call him. He said he's so insulted by the Chargers not paying him that they would be, his last resort would be to sign back with the Chargers.
So
that's a hell of a running back.
No doubt about it. So running back Austin Eckler said that playing for the Chargers next season would be the worst case scenario. Says he felt disrespected by the Chargers organization and requested to be traded a couple of weeks ago. A lot of this, related to your job, right? I mean, if you're doing a job at your job and somebody else is making twice as much money as you,
it hurts.
It does sting a little bit. You are looking. You would love to get out of that job.
Yeah.
You would do anything you can.
Well, they don't respect you.
Right. And a lot of that is respect.
Yeah.
We all got egos.
Don't forget, he is a running back, and running backs are not looked at like, the Messiah anymore. I mean, look what happened with Zeke. Ezekiel Elliott's still looking for a team. He's going to. I don't even know who the hell would sign him, to tell you the truth. I don't know what he's got left. But Eckler, he stayed healthy, and, man, he's like a bodybuilder. If you ever seen the way he looks. So he works out. He works hard. He's going to make someone very happy if the Chargers don't sign him. That would be a big loss.
And running backs, their careers don't last. I mean, running backs' careers are probably, and I don't have this in front of me, but I would suggest that the running back position is the lowest longevity of a career you can have in the NFL. So you have to get paid when you can get paid.
Speaking of running backs, David Montgomery, of course, now here in Detroit. Guess what? The Minnesota Vikings made him an offer before he signed with the Lions, and he decided to skip over Minnesota and come on over to Detroit. So 2 teams in the North went after this kid.
Well, they do have, as Dove points out here, Dalvin Cook on their roster.
I know, but they obviously didn't care.
Right.
They offered him a deal. In other words, they were going to move Dalvin Cook.
Well, that's true. I'd say this. I think, these players are very aware. These players talk to each other. These players know what situations are good and what situations are not. And I think, without question, if you look at the NFC North division, and this is a guy who's played each team twice in that division, he knows. You think Tuck's coming? He knows the Lions are coming.
You bet.
He knows.
A lot of teams do.
He knows which direction this division is turning to, and he wanted to be a part of it. And I think
Isn't that great?
David Montgomery, to me, that is a slam dunk upgrade for your running back room over Jamal Williams.
He might not be the back, but he is an improvement on Jamal Williams. Although Jamal was a great Lion, and we appreciated what he did.
Without question.
Not a doubt about it.
I want to get that out there for sure.
Darius Slay, before we take a break and go to our Gardner White win.
Do you want to blank his blank?
No, I do not. But Darius Slay spoke out and said he was this close to being a Baltimore Raven before he stuck with the Eagles.
Yeah, he wanted to be with the Eagles. Oh,
a Baltimore Raven. I was this close. But, I wanted to be Eagle. I stayed an Eagle because I know me and Howard's going to figure something out. But the Baltimore Ravens was the first team that called, and they offered just what I wanted. And I just said, hey, the Eagles do that, I'm going to stay an Eagle. So it was nice now, man. I almost was a Raven. I was almost a different bird.
Who's better than that guy? I mean,
so
what
cool.
what a treat. What a treat. One of the best, Darius Slade.
He knows he's loved here.
Hey, I want to get this next one in real quick. Can we?
Go ahead. Read it.
The Jets, Saints, Bears, and Commanders are on deck for Hard Knocks. Come on.
Who do you want?
You know who it is.
The Jets.
It's the Jets. It's the Jets. The Saints are a boring team. Yeah. They are boring. The Bears are a boring team.
Well, they're rebuilt.
Yeah, the Commanders are a disaster.
Yeah, well, that might be fun. New owner.
It's the Jets. It's very easy. And that's who they'll select. They can't say no. So HBO, NFL Films, they get to pick of one of four here. And these are the four teams that can't say no. So obviously Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, whenever that's done, that will quickly be announced as the Hard Knocks preseason partner. I'd like to see a Detroit Lions in-season Hard Knocks.
Oh, I would love that. They probably can't come back to us that quick.
I don't know.
But that would be fun, man.
I don't know. Didn't Arizona have Indianapolis?
That was their first. No.
Didn't Indianapolis have a pre?
No, they didn't. They didn't. I think it's a one-shot deal.
Oh, very good. One shot.
All right. Well,
okay, very good. Hey, guys, I want to tell you about Guardian Alarm. Okay? Will you allow me to do that?
Get the right number.
Guardian Alarm is your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people. Oh, boy, you know that number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY out. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Call them right now. Tell them Woodward Sports.
Do it.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hey, Seafood Fest is back, and catch it while you can at Big Boy.
Oh,
and you want to try that
baby.
shrimp Alfredo, the shrimp stir fry, and that new fish sandwich, and Friday nights, all you could eat fish fry buffet. Get out to Big Boy like Luke and Ryan do.
Hey guys, I'm very excited for this. Okay, so we ran a contest and we partnered up with Gardner White, and it was so freaking cool. And I do want to absolutely thank Rachel Tronstein Stewart, the president of Gardner White, for making this happen. And the winner of this event, we're talking about college basketball earlier, Jeffrey Brown. He went by the username Clark W. And first of all, Jeffrey, thanks for the time here on WoodwardSports.com. I have to ask, where did the Clark W thing come from?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. The Clark W, my nickname growing up from high school football, long story, was Sparky. And as I got older, that became a little childish. I asked one of my more clever friends, Mike G, to come up with a better nickname for me, because his wife calls him Sparky throughout the shows, Clark W. Griswold.
Oh, I love
that.
That
is so awesome. Hey, Jeffrey, talk to me about how did you learn about the contest when you signed up for the contest? I mean, is it something you ever think you can win?
Well, no, I watch you guys almost every single day. I work from home, so when I'm not on a call, I'm watching. When I am on a call for work, you guys are background noise for me. I saw the advertisement for the brackets. I said I'll make a run at it. I've never had good luck with these things, and this was the least amount of time I spent filling out a bracket and going, look, I won it. So.
Who was your Final Four and your champion?
My Final Four, I only had one Final Four team right, and it was UConn. I had them going through to win it.
Wow.
My big hurdle was Miami. There was one guy that could catch up. See, I had a bunch into the Elite 8 and Sweet 16, but those, it seemed like the team I picked to go ahead, like Tennessee. I had some teams that disappointed me, like Purdue, but I only had them going to the second round, so I knew they'd get beat.
Is college basketball one of your favorite sports, Jeff? Because I know you're a huge Lion fan.
No. College basketball is probably one of the sports I spend the least amount of time paying attention to. When I work on Saturdays, I'll throw one of the Big East games that's on, Providence versus St. Mary's or something, and barely pay attention to it.
And that's the great part about this tournament. You don't have to be a college sports basketball fan or anything like that. You can enter this tournament and win. So let me ask you this. Is it better to have the $1,000 or the 2 lazy boys? Because I got to tell you, the 1,000 is nice. That'll come and go. But those 2 lazy boys are going to be with you for a while, Jeffrey. Do you have the spot picked out?
Hey, it depends on whether you ask me or my wife which is better, the grand or the lazy boys. Yeah, we got an old couch that's falling apart, and when we get those 2 lazy boys, she and I are going to be sitting riding side by side in those.
Oh.
Dude,
hey, man,
that makes me
so
so happy. That makes me so happy that you're getting these lazy boys, because it makes you feel good, right? I mean, you get there, and now you can watch us on YouTube, on your TV, or however you watch us, Jeff, sitting in that lazy boy.
Oh yeah, definitely. On my days off, when I'm doing the chores my wife puts forth for me, when I take a break to listen to you guys, I'll be reclining in one of those sweet lazy boys.
Jeff, you got to send us a picture when you get the his and her lazy boys. We got to
send it.
We got to send it to Gardner White. We're going to send it to Gardner White. I have a feeling you're going to make their homepage. So make sure you spread the word and let us know when you go there, and let us know when you pick out the goods, and make sure you ask for Rachel when you get there.
Hey, for sure. And I'm actually coming to Detroit in a couple of weeks. We're going to a show. I'll be staying right downtown. And we're going to make a swing by Gardner White to check them out. Maybe I'll make a swing by the studio there and get my hair cut. I'm due.
There you go.
We want you to.
We'd absolutely love that, Jeffrey. Thank you so much. So cool to have you on with us today. And a huge thank you to Rachel Tronstein-Stewart, the president of Gardner White, for her support in making this happen. Over 1,000 entrants into this tournament. Jeffrey Brown, a.k.a. Clark W., takes home the top prize of $1,000.
Congrats,
and 2 recliners.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Sparky. I appreciate it.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to say something to Braylon, but he's not there. Tell him I tried to get dope like him, but there's not enough Citron in all the Krogers in the state of Michigan.
Oh, I love that, Jeff.
More Citron. Why wait?
I love it, man. Thanks for coming on. Hey, you got to give love to our second and third place winners, all right?
Second and third place winners. Parker O'Neill. Parker O'Neill took home second place, $500 and 1 Lazy Boy recliner. And then third place, Logan Wolf of Clinton Township, 1 Lazy Boy recliner as well. You can get a Lazy Boy yourself. All you have to do is go check out Gardner White.
Just like me and my wife did.
You got a couple of Lazy Boys? There is nothing better than the Lazy Boy.
Nope. We got a spot for them in the back room. Can't wait to get them.
GardnerWhite.com is the website. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Maz, great job out of you today.
Thanks, buddy. Happy opening day eve to everybody.
Come join us tomorrow.
Please.
Everybody, we want you downtown. All are invited. All are invited.
You got to go down and see Adam. Maybe you'll smoke the hookah with Adam and Jeff in the morning. And you got Neil.
Smoking that hookah.
Hey, the real deal is back tomorrow from Florida.
Rule?
Neil Rule and D-Mac middays. And then you got us at 2 o'clock during the game. Most of you aren't going to the game anyway, so you come and see us and hang out and watch opening day with us.
Hold on 1 second. Before we get out of here, I do want to say that I gave you the wrong website.
Okay.
It's Gardner-White. Gardner-White. I wanted to make that correction. Gardner-White for more.
You don't even need that. You just put Gardner White in your computer.
Yeah,
it's going
do
to
that.
pop up.
Very good.
That's it.
Buy yourself a Lazy Boy.
Do it.
Bring it downtown tomorrow. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
I love Woodward Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.